What do you think made him stand out from the other Beatles?
They were all terrific. They were all amazing. And I don't think their legend, if you like, will ever die out. But George, to me, he had such a diverse. To me, he was more interesting than the rest, anyway, because he was interested in Eastern philosophy. He actually did bring Eastern music to the West. You know, I don't think Ravi Shankar would have enjoyed quite the success he did if it hadn't been for George's help. He was into motor racing, and you know, he enjoyed the thrill of being a fan rather than being the other side of things. He was a gardener. He dedicated his autobiography to all gardeners everywhere. You know, for peace, he went out into his garden and he created the most beautiful, spectacular gardens at Prior Park, and in Maui, and in Australia. It was just he was so funny. You know, he was hilarious. Without him, we wouldn't have Life of Brian, which has been voted again and again the best comedy film of all time. And that he did not because he's just a rich man, you know, who could throw his money around. He actually mortgaged his home, Prior Park, to do that. So wasn't just an easy thing. He did go out of his way to do it. He saved Bangladesh. You know, 10 million refugees. He went out there on a limb to help them. It was a very brave act to do that in America, because America were actually supplying the Pakistanis with the guns. You know, so it was a brave act to do it where he did.
Do you think musically he's ever been given the credit he deserves in comparison to John and Paul?
Quietly. Like today I've been wandering around, going into pubs saying, listen, you've got music on, how about playing this? And the landlord of the last pub I went to said, My Sweet Lord is my favorite song of all time, you know. So I think gradually people, but it's got to be played for it to be heard. Let's face it, John was a martyr. So therefore, you know, he deserves a very special place in history. But for me, George's music had a greater depth to it than the rest of the Beatles. You know, that's not putting anyone else's music down, but to me, his music really stands the test of time. And I think it will be appreciated more and more, but it needs to be played for it to be appreciated.
There's a whole new generation of people who are going to be discovering George for the first time. What would you say is the legacy of his that still lives on?
Well, it's got to be his music. And he did say that if you want to learn about me, if you want to know anything, what I feel, just listen to my music, because I've said it all in there. And in fact, we'll keep this to his words. He said, you can have my love, you can have my smiles, forget the bad parts, you don't need them. Just take the music, the goodness, because it's the very best, and it's the path I give most willingly.